कौशिक, हेलो हेलो। हेलो 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 हेलो।
हेलो।
भाई इतना जल्दी क्या कर रहे हैं आके?
अरे मैं ऑन करके बस छोड़ दिया था।
पता चल गया, पता चल गया। पकड़ा गया लौंडा।
हम्म।
ये कर रहा है ना तू?
ऐसे ही छोड़ देता हूँ ऑन करके। बस अटेंड
बहुत अच्छा। हाँ।
बस अटेंडेंस चाहिए, ऐसे ऑन करके छोड़ दूंगा बस।
बस चिल ना।
हम्म।
असाइनमेंट दे दिया तो?
ओहो, अरे देने से ये देता नहीं है वैसे।
देता नहीं है। आज तो गिरहब का होगा ना?
हाँ।
तो गिरहब का प्रोग्रामिंग क्या करे? अगर देख पूछा कि दिखा बोल के क्या करेगा तू?
पता नहीं।
बोल देगा लैपटॉप खराब है ना।
हाँ।
लैपटॉप खराब है बोल
हाँ,
देना।
लैपटॉप खराब है बोल दूंगा, वाह। ठीक ही।
हाँ, मस्त है ना, इसलिए मोबाइल पे कर रहा हूँ।
हम्म।
बस सही है बे। तू तो बड़ा हैवी लौंडा है।
हम्म।
चलो सही है, ठीक है। मैं ऐसे देखने आया कि मेरे मतलब मेरे मोबाइल पे 7 बज गया ना। तो देखने आ गया क्या क्लास स्टार्ट हो गया। नहीं हुआ, चल ठीक है, बाद में ज्वाइन करता हूँ मैं।
ठीक
तू
है।
रहे।
Hello, everyone. Very good evening to all of you guys. Let's wait a couple of more minutes. People are still joining, and then we will start. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's start the session. First of all, again, a very good evening to all of you guys. I hope all of you are doing really well. And let's start today's session. Before we start, first of all, anyone have any doubts or any question from the yesterday's session that we had? Any doubts, any question, anything that you wanted to ask? No? Okay. So let's have a quick revision what we had learned yesterday. So in the last class, we had learned something about the Git, and we saw there was a one very major problem with the file saving. Okay, whenever we have a project and we are continuously working on a particular project, then it's very difficult to manage different versions of it. Okay, and when we are managing the different version of a project, how to get a certification. Okay, just focus on the class for the time being. Okay, do not go with the certificate. Knowledge is important. Okay, yeah. So in the project, we saw that there was a project and we have this file configuration, right? And whenever we have the files and all, and we wanted to update it. Okay, so we saw that we updated one particular file and then it created another copy of the project. Similarly, we have created multiple copies of the same project after updating it again and again. And we also saw that it's very inefficient way and it is taking a lot of memory. Okay, so what if the project size is huge? Okay, that's where the version control system is actually comes into the picture. That's what we call as a VCS. Okay, so into the VCS, we saw that creation of the zip was not a very effective way, and we require something effective. Okay, so for that, what we saw that the developers first come with a local version control system where they have used the databases and to keep track of the files and their versions, and everything was on the local. Okay, so on the local machine, they have complete project, and on that particular project, they are working and making all those changes into it. Okay, but in case of some natural calamity or some natural disaster, the if the laptop is damaged or hard disk is corrupted, then we will eventually lose the whole project. Okay, so the pros was of the local version control system was we can track files and we can make the rollbacks on it, and the cons was that it's on local, so anything major if happens, then everything will be lost. Okay, then we have come discuss about the centralized version control system, where instead of putting our data into a one single server, we are actually putting it into a central repo. Okay, and whatever the file of a particular person required, that particular person was using that particular file, updating it and making the commit back. Okay, and we saw that project is available at the central repo, so anything happens at the local level, that's not going to affect the complete loss of a data. Okay, and at the same time, multiple people can actually work on the centralized version control system. Then we saw the cons of it. The cons was the failure of the central repo server will actually cause a failure or the loss of the whole data. That's where the most advanced techniques came into the picture, that is the distributed version control. Into the distributed version control, instead of sending one particular file, it is sending the complete repo, okay, from the main server to the local of the user. So every user has their own copy of it. Okay, all the version that has been ever released, all the developer have their own copy of the repo which contain all the version. Whatever the changes that they are actually making into it, they are simply putting it back to the main server. Okay, that's what we learned yesterday. We had learned it into a very deep detail. Okay, so every user have a backup of the project. Okay, and it is avoiding the main advantage was whenever we are creating a distributed version control repo, in that repo it is not actually taking the all the files, it is avoiding the bulky file and only taking the source codes. Okay, so that's what we had discussed. Then we discussed that Git, which is a technique of a distributed version control system. Okay, Git is a distributed version control system. And this is what all about this particular course. We are learning about the Git. So into the Git, we saw that it's a VCS and it's very easy to recover files from it. So we can track who's commit or when someone makes some changes into it and that actually caused some issue, so we exactly know that who introduced the issue and when it is introduced. Okay, roll back to the previously working state, so we already have a previously working state version stored into the Git, and we can simply roll it back so that the application will be up and running. Okay, if someone lost the file, then he or she can pull it from the server. If the server is damaged, okay, by some chance, then the local repo is available everywhere. Okay, the local repo is available everywhere, and from there they can actually push it back to the main server. Okay, and into the Git, the collaboration of the multiple people is actually possible. Okay, so this is what we saw. Okay, so that is the major reasons of the acceptance of the Git by the developers. Okay, so yesterday we discussed this particular story. I'm not going to revise it. It was just a story, not a technical stuff. Okay, and so yesterday at the end of the session, I asked you guys to install the Git. Okay, today we are going to learn about the Git architecture as well as how to use Git. Okay, so let's start today's session. So first of all, how to install Git? Let me just tell you again how to do that. Why there is a different link? Which link is different? So first of all, what you have to do is you have to go and search for Git install. Okay, when you are going to search for the Git install, then there will be a download. Okay, just open it. And then from when you are going to click over here, okay, it is going to download a file for you. Okay, you are going to, if you are going to click on this particular link, the file is going to be downloaded. It is going to be an exe file, installer file, and just double click on it. and it will be installed instantly. Okay, like 2 to 3 minutes hardly it will take. Man, we will talk about the links and all those stuff a bit later. Okay, Sunstone link and all those things. Focus on the class right now. Okay. Okay. So in this particular case, we are having the Git link. I have a one request, guys. If you have anything which is related to the managerial stuff or which is not a technical thing, what we are currently discussing, kindly ask those questions at the end of the session. Okay. So please ask these questions at the end of the session. Okay. Do not ask these type of managerial related question during the session. Okay. I'm opening the chat. So I'm expecting that there is some question related to the thing that I'm discussing, but it is coming up a managerial question. So it's my humble request. You can ask those questions, but at the end of the session. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now let's come back over here. So everyone installed the Git. Is there anyone who did not install it? How many of you, first of all, tell me like you have joined from your mobile phone? If you have joined from mobile phone, please go and open your laptop and join in from the laptop. Okay. If you are thinking that by just looking or by attending a session, you will able to get everything, that's not going to happen. Okay. You have to do the hands-on. Okay. Okay, so now what we will do today, let's understand a couple of more things and then we will come to the Git again. Okay, so during the installation, that's very simple step. You have to search for the Git install. Okay, and then after that, you just need to go to this website, download it, follow the installation steps, and once the installation is done, then you can find Git bash. Okay, there will be one application that is installed for you, and this is called as a Git bash. Okay, and when you are going to open it, if I click on Control plus, then you can zoom it. Okay, so this is a Git bash window that I have over here, right? So after your Git bash is installed, what you have to do is you have to just write Git into it. Just Git. Press enter. Okay, and you will get something like this. Okay, this is the output that it will show you. Okay, couple of commands and all those stuff. It will show you. Just give me a second. Okay, so here, if you are getting this particular output, okay, then it means it is installed and it is working fine for you. Okay, means our installation of the Git in our laptop is done. Okay, that's very simple step. Okay, now another word that we have. Okay, sir, most of you are waiting in another Zoom link for that. I didn't get any class link today as well as tomorrow. I can please share the WhatsApp group link at the end of the session. Is there any other Zoom link for this particular session? That's what you were mentioning. But this is a one single link. It is a yesterday's link, right? Arish, that's what you
Sir,
were mentioning.
I have a question. Yesterday, I had joined the link which was there on the Sunstone app, and today
Okay.
also I joined that link, but nobody came in that means no trainer came in that link. And today I joined from the
Okay,
WhatsApp
man.
link, so the class is going on here.
Man, that is the only link that we have here. Wait a second. Huh? So, because I have an email, right? And into that email, it is in my calendar.
Sir, because of that, I missed the yesterday's class.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Same issue with me also.
Hey man, I have a same link for all the 5 classes. Okay, I will talk to the program manager. Okay, can you do any one of you who actually have both link? Can you guys go into that particular meeting? Okay, copy this particular link and send to those folks. Okay, meanwhile I will call you program manager. Just give me a second. Huh? Meanwhile, you guys, any one of you, can anyone volunteer? Arish, can you do that for me, man?
What, sir?
Just go in that particular meeting which you joined earlier, okay, and give this meeting link to those folks who are
Yes, sir.
waiting
I
over
have
there.
already provided it. When I joined this
Acha.
link, I had already provided the link in that
Mm-hmm.
meeting also.
Acha. Go and check one more time, na. Just open a new device or something and check
Okay,
if
sir.
someone is there. I will just call the program manager. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, these things are actually create an issue. Hold on a minute. Huh? Yeah, guys, thank you for highlighting this. I have updated it to the program manager and he's looking into it. You guys will get one single link and you have to join over there from tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Those guys who actually did not join yesterday's session due to some link issue, I would request you to please watch the recorded session. You guys get the recorded session on your portal, or you can ask your program manager to share the recorded session with you. Okay, so there is a complete recorded session we have of the yesterday's class, and from there you guys can easily go through it. Okay, it's a 1 hour 15 minutes session that we had yesterday. Okay, yeah, and thank you so much for highlighting this. Okay, I thought you were asking for the recorded link. That's why I said do not ask this type of the caution in the middle. Okay, but don't worry. Thank you so much for highlighting it. Okay, and I apologize from the management side that because of them you guys had some inconvenience. Okay, let's focus on the class now. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so now we had learned about the Git. Okay, so Git is something that we understood. Now, what is a GitHub? Okay, what is a GitHub then? So, Git is a software. Okay, Git is a software. It's a technique. Okay, it's a mechanism. So, Git is a software which is completely free of cost. You should not pay anything. There is no need to pay anything to the Git. Okay, everyone installed the Git. Okay, and it did not ask for any money and it is installed in your system. It's completely free of cost. Okay, Linus has actually made it free for everyone. Now it's free of cost and it is creating the version control system and the Git repository. So what does the Git does? So Git is basically a software which is a free of cost and it is creating the version controls as well as it is creating the Git repository which contains all the versions and the information of the previous patches. Patch means whatever the changes that you have made. Okay. On the other hand, GitHub. Okay. So GitHub is a hosting service website which is managing your Git repository. So whenever you are making a Git repo, you require a server, a main server where you can host it. So that's where the GitHub comes into the picture. So GitHub is a hosting service. Okay, it's a cloud-based hosting service where you can store or you can manage your Git repos. Okay, Git repo means all the project that you have created, all the version, all the information. Okay, so for an individual, GitHub is also free. Okay, for an individual, it is free, but for the professional use, GitHub will charge the money for their services. Means if you guys have to use a GitHub, you are not going to pay anything to the GitHub. There is no need to pay anything. Okay, for you guys, Git is free, GitHub is also free. Okay, but when you go into an organization and they are using it for any commercial purpose, then for the commercial purpose, the GitHub is not free. Okay, the companies needs to pay to the GitHub to use their services. Similarly, just like a GitHub, which is a hosting service, okay, which manages your Git repos, similar to the GitHub, we have GitLab, we have Bitbucket. So these are some other websites, okay, which is providing the similar facilities what GitHub is doing. Okay, so these are the hosting services of the Git repo. Now understand one thing. Git is different. Okay, Git, this is Git. Okay, this is a symbol of Git. Git is a distributed, what is Git? It is a distributed version control system. Okay, what is GitHub? This is the icon of GitHub. Okay, this is the icon of GitHub. What is GitHub? GitHub is a website, hosting website. GitHub is a hosting website which is managing the Git repo. What it does, it manages the Git repo. When I say repository or repo, both are same. Okay, so GitHub is a hosting website managing the Git repo. Git is a software which is a distributed version control system. So what we installed today or yesterday, this is a Git. Okay, this is a Git software, not GitHub. Okay, so we have to go to the GitHub as well. Okay, so yeah, what we will do, let me go to the incognito because my GitHub is already logged in, or let me show you my GitHub. So now what you guys have to do is you guys have to open this link. Okay, github.com. Let me sign in my account. Okay. I stop sharing because I have to enter my credentials. It's already there. Okay, let me share it back. So what you guys have to do is you guys have to go on this website, github.com. Okay. When you go to the github.com, you can sign in. Okay. github.com. Okay. What you have to do, so this is the website. So you have to sign up. If you already have an account, well and good. If not, then you have to sign up for it. Okay, right now there is no need of doing anything into it. Just create an account on the GitHub. Okay, provide your email, password, and the username. That will be enough. Okay, so just provide your email, username, and password, and your Git account will be created. Okay, so I have my Git account, my GitHub over here. Wait a second. Yeah, this is my GitHub. Okay, so I have, if I go to my home page, okay, so this is my GitHub and I have uploaded a lot of project. Okay, I have my machine learning project, my Python tutorials, my NLP tutorial, my data structure tutorial, how you can create your own chat GPTs, a lot of things I have uploaded. Okay, so if I go to my repositories, now this is called as a repository, Git repository. Okay, so if you can see, I have a one project over here, let's say data structure. I am studying about the data structures and I will open it. So if I open my data structure, so into the data structures, you can see that's how it looks like. Okay, so we have a folder into the array, then basic maths, binary tree, dynamic programming, graph, lead code, recursion, searching, sorting, a lot of things. Okay, let's say I'm going to the dynamic programming, or let's say basic array. So onto the array folder, if you can see into the data structures, now I am inside a array. Okay, there is one more folder called array. Inside array, I have a easy question, hard question, medium question. Okay, so let's say I have opening the hard question, and here I have couple of files. Okay, so I can see, let's say this is the file. So this is a Python file, and this is my code that I have written for it. Okay, and any one of you can access it because I made my repository public. Okay, so if I share this particular folder link to you guys, okay, if you click on this link, you will be able to open this particular repo, okay, where you can see all my codes are there. Now the same thing I have in my local as well. Okay, now if I show you my local, that's why you guys will get the idea what we are actually doing. Okay, so I will go and open my local folder. Okay, so this is my DSA folder. Okay, then into the DSA, what I have lot of things. Okay, then here I have a data structures, and you can see this is the folder that you guys were seeing on the Git. Okay, if I close this file and this file, so this is the array, this is a hard problem, and you can see the same file that I have on a Git. This is my local machine. Okay, right now it's a Visual Studio Code where I have written, I have created some projects, some Python problems I solved, and I created over here. Now the same thing I have on the Git as well. Okay, I have it on the Git as well. So now tomorrow, if my laptop hard disk is corrupted, or like there is a flood, earthquake, I lost my laptop, something happens, then I have everything over here. I will simply open the github.com, okay, and I will get everything related to my project that I have created. So there is not a lot of versions because it's just a basic Python codes. So I did not have a lot of version of it. I'm not improving it on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, but I have uploaded it over there. Okay. Similarly, there are different versions that you can access, that you can create, and we will do that. All those things we will do. Okay, like we will look for the projects, we will look for issue, what is a pull request, what is the actions, everything we are going to learn about it. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to go to the github.com, okay, and sign up for it. For the time being, just go and sign up. Okay, not right now. After the class, you can do that. Right now, everyone should open the Git bash. Okay, so this is what happens with the Git and GitHub. Okay, let's come over here. Okay, so what we have done, we look for the Git and the GitHub. Okay, now let's try to see how the Git, what things you have to do on your Git bash first of all. Okay, so everyone please open your Git bash. Okay, just like I did, I have opened my Git bash from any of the window. Okay, you can open it from like from here, just search for Git bash and it will open. Okay, now into the git bash, okay, into the git bash, what you have to do is, first of all, what we are going to do, we have to create a one folder, okay, and I'm going to open the git bash from there. So right now, if you can see, I am in the main. So what is this main? So it's not a very specific folder. Right now it is a specific folder, but I wanted to work on a particular folder where I have my project. Okay, so what I will do is I will go and create a one project. Okay, so let's suppose I'm opening my file explorer. Okay, let's come to the Sunstone, and I have created a one folder git where I have saved this PPT and couple of images. So what I will do is I will create a new folder over here. You guys can create anywhere, wherever you want, you can create. And let's say I'm giving it a name, git tutorial. Okay, I'm giving this particular file a name, git tutorial. Enter. So I have just created a folder, and into this folder, I'm going to, let's suppose I have all my projects and everything. So you have to go inside this folder. Right now the folder is empty. What you have to do is, let me just close this git bash. Okay, you are inside this folder, just right click over here. If you are going to click right click, then it's just a normal, it is just giving me an option of open in terminal. Okay, I don't want that. I want to open a git bash from here. So you have to press shift. Okay, shift, then right click. Okay, when you are going to press shift and right click, then you will see there is a one option, open git bash here. You will also get an option of GUI, which is known as graphical user interface, but we are going to work for the terminal. Okay, terminal means that black screen that you saw. So I'm going to open a git bash here. Okay, so now you can see that it is giving me this direct folder path. So where I'm right now, desktop, ECML Sunstone. Over there, I have a folder called Git. Into the Git, I have a folder called tutorial. This is main. Main means branch. I will talk about the branches a bit later. Okay. So now, first thing that you have to do is you can write one thing, command as pwd. What is this pwd? PWD stands for present working directory. Okay, that exactly where your git is open, in which folder you have opened the git. Okay, now I will just write git over here, just git. Okay, and it is giving me all this thing like git help, then rm, clone, init, add, all this thing we will learn. Okay, now so it means that my git is working perfectly fine. Okay, so since you guys have signed it for the very first time, what you have to do is you have to create a username and set a email address. Okay, you have to create a username and also you have to set a email address. So how you will do that? So this is a command, git config -- global user.name username. Okay, let's try to do that. So I want to clear this screen, so I will just write clear and everything is clear. Okay, so what you have to write is set up for some username so that you will get the idea who actually committed the code. Okay, when that particular person committed the code. Okay, so I'm just writing setup, initial setup I am doing, like setting up my account into the git. Okay, so git, then config -- global user dot name. Okay, what are you doing, Vamsi? Don't do that. Okay, so git config -- global then user dot name, and then I will set up a name to it. Okay, you can give any name that you want. Okay, you can give your own name. Okay, let's say I'm giving a name called as, let's say, Sunstone. Okay, and then I will press enter. Okay, so the command runs successfully. Now what I will do, I have to set a email account. So what I will do, I will go and I will write this. Let's keep that one as it is, Sunstone. And instead of name, I will call it as a email. Okay, and let's say I'm giving the email at sunstone@testmail.com. You can give any email, your own individual email, that's completely fine. Okay, and I will click enter. Okay, so now you can see I have set my global username as a Sunstone and the email ID at sunstone@testmail.com. Okay, now I wanted to see uh, now I wanted to see one thing over here, is that where that particular name is actually set up or not. Okay, so there is a one thing that you can go for a git config list. Okay, git config list. So in this case, if you can see, there are a lot of things that is coming. But in this case, you can see that I have my username, which is Sunstone, and I have a user email, which is sunstonetestemail.com. Okay, which is sunstonetestemail.com. So I have set up my email ID as well as name. Okay, so you can write it. How to edit? If you have written one incorrect command and you press enter, you have to write it again. Okay, it is not like now I can go and edit this command over here. That's not how it works. Okay, if you made any mistake, then you have to write it again. And if you press up arrow key, that will work as a history. Okay, up arrow key. So see, every command that I have run, I'm pressing up arrow key and it is giving me all the commands. Okay, so now if you do not want to see the list, I just wanted to check the name of it. Okay, so for if you have to check the name, so you can write git config user.name. Okay, so do that, git config user.name. So it is giving me the name as a Sunstone. And if I want to see the email, so I don't want to write the whole command, I just need to change the user.email. So I will press up arrow key and I got the previous command, backspace. I will write email. And you can see it is giving me the email ID as sunstone@testmail.com. Okay, so this is the initial setup that I want. Okay, now my initial setup of a Git is ready. Okay, now comes the next thing. Before start working on a Git, before we have to start working on a Git, we have to understand the Git's architecture. Okay, so there is a Git 3-stage architecture that we have to understand, and that's the most important agenda of today. Once you understand this particular thing, then working with the Git will be very easy for you. Okay, so what is this 3-stage architecture? So whenever we are working with the Git, then there are 3 steps. Okay, 3 stages. The first stage is what we call as a working directory. Second stage is what we call as a staging area. And the third stage is what we call as a Git directory or a repository. Okay, before that, let's have an example. Suppose I had this project. Okay, I had a project and this is a F1, this is a F2, and this is a data.csv. And it is a working project. So Git has a very great capability, and that is called as a snapshot. Means it is capturing the moment. What is a snapshot? Snapshot is what? Just like you are taking a photo of your great moments. Similarly, Git is also taking the snapshot at a particular moment. Okay, so I have created a one snapshot, means this is my working project. Suppose you have created Facebook. Okay, you are the developer and you have created Facebook and you deployed it, and right now Facebook is working perfectly fine. Okay, the social media application Facebook you have created, and your social media is working perfectly fine for the user now. And at that working moment you have captured a snapshot that, okay, this is my snapshot C1, I am giving the name. Okay, and this is my currently working stage. Okay, everything is working perfectly fine. After some time you realize, okay, I need to update something. Okay, so what is a snapshot? I have given over here. In the Git, we are creating the snapshot to capture a code at a specific moment so that we can roll back to it later. Why there is a rollback required? Let's understand that. So this is my snapshot and I have updated the code. So I kept my file F1 as it is, but I made some changes. I made some changes in the F1, F2 and data.csv. These are my files, right? So I made a change into the F2, okay, and the F1 also. So what I did, I made couple of changes. I made a change in F1, okay, and F2. So the change that I made into the F1, file 1, it is a very good change. User got a very good new features and everyone is crazy about it. Like you added a reel setup. Okay, now the user can upload the reels. But on the same side, there is some changes you made into the file F2 which is not working as expected. Okay, and you need some time to fix it. Okay, so there is one way. Either you can hold all the project, the complete project you can hold. You are not pushing this change. Okay, or there is another way. So F1 is working fine, data.csv is working fine, but F2 is not working. Okay, F2 is not working. So what we will do is we will push F1 and the data.csv to the previous commit that we have made. Means the changes in the F1 that will change, the changes that we made into the data CSV that will be updated, and we will push it to the final production. Okay, but I stopped F2. Okay, I stopped F2 because there was some issue into it. Okay, so what happens is that now let's come to the architecture, how the things actually happens. So working directory is your local folder, okay, where you are doing the changes. For example, I have this file. Okay, this is my local working directory. I have everything that is in my local. I have lot of files. I made couple of changes into it, right? So that's the computer explorer. Your Windows Explorer folder is what is called as a working directory. As simple as that. Okay, I have mentioned over here. So the folder where you are working and updating your file, that's called as a working directory. Now, staging area. What is this staging area? That's the most important thing of the architecture. Okay, the files, understand this now. The files which I want to go into the next commit. Commit means final round. Okay, now I'm finalizing this particular code. So the file which I want to go to the next commit, that file I will push into the staging area. From my local to the staging, I will push only those files which I want to move to the next step. Okay, just like this one. So I want F1 to move to the staging, and I want my data.csv to move to the staging. Okay. And in the staging, we are actually checking how the functionality actually works. Okay. So if we have to prevent some files to go into the next commit, then we will not put it into the staging area. So like my F2 was malfunctioning. Okay, the F2 file that we had, it was not working as expected. So I'm not going to push it to my staging area. So it will not go into the final commit. It is not going to be another snapshot is not going to be created. Okay, so let's understand the staging area with a very good example. Suppose you are at supermarket. Okay, and your mom asks you, hey, go and buy, and she has given a monthly grocery list to you, and then you visited the supermarket, and then you are like, okay, let's pack everything. You picked up couple of things, a lot of things you have picked up, and then you are at the final billing counter. Okay, at the billing counter you will check, okay, that everything is up to the mark or not. Means mother asked for 2 kg of sugar, so whether the 2 kg of sugar you have in your bucket or not. Okay, instead of sugar, it is not like you are putting 2 kg of salt. Otherwise, the mother will put the sugar, salt into the kheer, and then you can imagine what will happen with you at the home. Okay, so you have to make sure that whatever the things that your mother has asked you to buy, you will buy it. Okay, and before you are leaving the store, you are putting your groceries into the cab or your own vehicle. You are checking whether everything is there or not. So this particular check that you are making before going back to the mother India is this stage. This particular part is what we call as a staging. Okay, before going to the final boss, okay, you are checking whether you are completely prepared or not. Okay, so your mother asked for, let's say, cauliflower. Okay, so you are getting the cauliflower in the supermarket, but that is very stale. Okay, it's very old and some fungus and all those things are there. Okay, so one thing is you can like follow the mother's instruction and you can buy that cauliflower, put it into your bucket, and then you go to the home and you are giving, hey mom, I bought a flower for you. Oh, it's a cauliflower. Okay, and that too is a rotten cauliflower. So what your mother will be happy? No, she will not. Okay, she will hit you. Okay, at least my mother did when I was a little kid. Okay, so what will happen is that it is not like always whatever the things that you are making that's correct and putting it at in final production is always right. Okay, so into the staging we are actually checking whatever the things that we are picking, that is correct or not. If it is correct, then it will go ahead. Okay, so if cauliflower is not correct, just like our F2 file, that file is not correct, so I will not going to push it to the my final commit. Okay, that's where the staging comes. Okay, now whatever the things that you have put it into the staging, you can put it to the final commit. Okay, so this is my project. So I have updated my F1, I have updated my data.csv. Now I will put my F1 into the staging and data.csv into the staging, but I will not put my F2 into the staging. And then I will push it to the git directory or the repo and I will make a commit. So F1 will be updated, data.csv will be updated, but F2 will be older one which is already working. So in that manner, I got another version that's we call as a snapshot. Another snapshot is created and I'm calling it as a snapshot C2. So I had a earlier version where F1, F2, and data.csv all three are working. In the next release, I fixed F1, I updated F1, I updated data.csv, then I push it. So I have new F1, new data.csv, and old F2. So is this are the two different version? Yes or no? F1 and sorry, C1 and C2 are two different versions? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes, they are two different version of the code. Okay. Now, after that, we are having a Git directory or a Git repo. So into the Git directory, there is a .git folder, okay, which is a hidden folder, okay, where we have compressed file. So all the file, when we are going to make a particular directory as a Git directory, then it will store a Git folder, .git folder, where we have the compressed file of all the code and their previous version. So it will contain the snapshot C1, the snapshot C2, and whatever the things that you have created. Okay, it is the responsibility of the .git file that it will give you the code files from the specific version which you asked. So into the .git folder, a lot of files and versions are there. From the code, from the commands, you can ask, hey, I want this specific version. So it will provide it to you. Okay, that's what the Git directory. Okay, so this is the architecture of the Git. Okay, the three-stage architecture, what we call it. Okay, now it is clear to everyone what is working directory, staging area, and the .git. Okay, now let's move ahead. So what we will do now, let's come back to our this. Okay, so we had a one folder that we created and we call it as a Git tutorial. Okay, now the first thing that you will do whenever you are working with any files or folder, okay, with the Git, you have to check the status. So you have to write Git. Let me just clear everything. So our initial setup is done. Okay, all the things, everything is done. Now I have a file over here. I have a folder, Git tutorial, and let's see whether it is a Git or not. So just check for Git status. And in this case, because I'm already using the Git a lot, so in my case, I'm getting a lot of untracked file. In your case, you will actually going to get an error. Okay, you will actually going to get the error that this particular folder is not a Git folder. Okay, in my case, I use a lot of Git, so I have a lot of file which is in the staging. I did not committed it. Okay, so when you are going to write the Git status, you will get an error. Okay, now what I want to do is this particular folder that I have, I want to make this folder. I have all the commands. Okay, so git status, it will check the status of the folder. Now after that, I want to make this folder as a Git repo. So right now it is just a common folder. Okay, the Git tutorial folder that I have, it is just a normal folder. What I want to convert this particular folder into a Git repo. So for that, what I have to do is you have to write a command git init. Okay, git init. This will make your current folder as a Git repository. Okay, so it is what it mentioned. It will give you the output initialize empty Git repository. You can see into the Git tutorial, there is one folder created .git. And right now, if I go and see this particular folder, I cannot see anything over here. Okay, this folder is still empty. If you click on where is that option? If you go and select for the this folder, if you go and make it as a hidden folders available, then you will see the Git folder. I am not interested in that right now. Okay, I can go into folder option and mark it as a show hidden folder, and it will show me a .git folder. Now let's check the Git status. Let's see what it is giving. So I'm having a folder of Git status. Okay. So when I'm writing the git status now, it is giving me on branch master. What is the branch? I will talk to you about it later. Okay. No commits yet because I did not created any commit. Okay. So right now I have a folder and it is giving me a git status. Okay. We are inside a git repo. Okay. We have created this folder as a git repo. Now what you have to do? Okay, the next thing that you have to do is, let's try to add some files over here. Okay, so let's say I am creating a notepad. Okay, so let's call it as a first file and I am updating it. Let's say this is my first file. Okay, that's it. I'm saving it. Okay, so a text file is created. Now let's create an Excel file. So I'm creating an Excel file. Let's say sample table.xlsx. So I have added two files over here. Let's add one more file. Rich text format. Not this one. Wait. Let's say access database file. Okay, sample DB I will add. Okay, any name, any file. I have added. So okay, this is my project file, project folder, and it contains three files right now. Okay, first.txt, sample DB, and sample table. Now let's come back over here. So when I call this git status, it is giving on branch master no commits yet because I did not committed anything. Okay. Now, if I again run the git status, now you can see something. Okay. Now what we are learning, this is called as a git tracking. Okay. So now you can see that I have added three files over there and it is showing untracked files. Okay, means you have some file, but you did not track it into the Git. Means there are files, but Git does not have an access. So now you can see that the files are there in the working directory. Okay, at the first stage architecture, I have created the file which is in the working directory, but it is not in the staging, not in the commit state. Okay, so that's why it is giving me this option that untracked files. So what I have to do, I want to push these files to the staging, and I'm telling okay Git, let's accept these particular files that I have created in my project. Okay, so let's do that. Now how we can do that? So for doing it, if you have to add all the files that you have created in a one single go, so you have to write the command git add hyphen hyphen a. Okay, let's see. So I will go over here, git add hyphen hyphen a. Okay, hyphen hyphen a means all the files which is in this particular folder is going to be pushed to the staging. Right now I'm pushing everything. Okay, so I will enter and you can see the command run successful. Now let's check the status again. Now you can see that previously it was red. Now it is converted to green. What it shows? So previously it was untracked files, means Git does not have any track of these files that you have created. Now the Git has the track, but you did not committed it. Okay, changes to be committed. To be committed, you have to commit it. Okay, so there is new file first.txt, new file sample db, and new file sample table. Okay, means I move these files to my staging area. Now I have to commit it. Okay, so for the commit means I want to push it to my git repository. Okay, so for that we have to write the command git commit -m, and then you have to write a comment. whenever we have to make a commit, commit is what? Commit is you are pushing it to the Git repo. Okay. So whenever you are making a commit, you have to write a comment. Why we use git add hyphen hyphen a? We use the git add hyphen hyphen a to move. So initially when I created those files into the Git folder, it is showing that these are the untracked file, means there are files, but it is not tracked by the Git. So git add hyphen hyphen a actually push these files from your working directory to the staging. Okay, to the staging. So that's what, and hyphen hyphen a means all the files that you have in the folder is actually moved to the staging. Okay, if you want to move a specific file, then you have to mention the name. Okay, now, so I have, hello, I don't know how I dropped from the call. Give me a second now. Hey, Kaushik, you actually became the host, man. Just make me the host, okay? You have the privilege, you can make me the host. If you are not making that, still okay. Okay, so I'm audible, my screen is visible, just give me the confirmation.
Yes,
Because okay, thank you. Now, so we are over here, my files are in the staging. You can see it is now in the green color. Okay, what is the next thing? Next thing is we have to commit it. Okay, so we will write git commit hyphen m, and then you have to write a message. Whenever you are committing, you have to write the message that what are the changes that you have made into it. That's the best practice. So I'm writing the commit at initial commit. This is the first time I'm making any commit. I will press enter, and now you can see that 3 files changed, 1 insertion. So these are the 3 files that we have changed. Okay. Now again, if I run git status, then you can see on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Okay, so previously when I run, no commits yet. Now it is nothing to commit because I have couple of things which was in my staging and now I committed it. Okay, so now my these 3 files are actually committed and it is in my git repo. So a git repo we have created. Okay, now let's see one more thing. What if, let's check the logs. So you want to see who committed, when committed, and what are the details. So you can write the git log. So you can see this is the commit ID. Okay, and who committed? The author of this commit was Sunstone, and the email ID is this one. Okay, when the commit was made, so Tuesday, January 21, 8 o'clock, 23 second, 2025 plus 5:30, that is UTC GMT plus 5:30. Okay, and the commit message that I have given was initial commit. Okay, now let's suppose I'm working on my folders. Now I change this file. Let's try to change it. Okay, I want to create a version 2. Okay, I will save this. Okay, now I will come over here. Let's check the git status again. So you saw that when I had a git status, it is giving nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. Everything was fine. Let's check the git status again. Now you can see that changes not staged for the commit. There are some changes. You can see it is giving me a message. There is a file in your git repo which is modified, but it is still in the working directory. It is not in the staging. It is not in a commit stage. Okay, so git is able to capture whatever the changes that you are making. Okay, let's change one more file. Suppose this is my another file and I made some changes into it. Okay, so I'm just writing anything into it that's not going to be a relevant information. Okay, but I saved it. Okay, I save this file, and let's add the git status again. Now you can see that there are two files which is modified. Sample table dot this one. Okay, so you have made changes into the two files, right? Now I you are working with the Facebook and you have created, so first.txt, let's suppose that that particular file is adding the real functionality for you, but sample table.txt .xlsx excel file that we have, that is something which is not ready to commit. So what I will do, earlier I have a stage when I use the git add -a, it actually pushed all the files into the staging. But right now I don't want to push my all files into the staging. I just wanted to push my first.txt into the staging. Okay, I'm not comfortable with the sample table.xlsx. So what I will do, I will again write git add, but instead of -a, which is tag for all, I will do first.txt, only one file. Okay, if I have to push multiple files, then I have to write the names of those files. But right now I just wanted to push one file, but I don't want to push the other one. Okay, so I push it. That file is added. Let's check the status of the git again. Now you can see that one file is pushed. Okay, see here. Earlier there are two reds, means two files are changed, but they are not in the staged. Right now, one file is in stage, it is in green color. Okay, changes to be committed. This is something that I need to commit. It is in staging, and one of them is still not in the stage. Okay, so what I want to commit this. Okay, I want to push it to the final production. So what I have to do, let's again write git commit -m, and then I can mention, okay, added real feature in the Facebook. Okay, added real feature in the Facebook, and now I'm committing it. What will happen? This file will be committed to the Git repo, and this will be not, because I did not put it into the stage. Okay, I will press enter, and now you can see one file changed. Okay, one file change. Now if you check the git status, you can see that earlier it was changes to be committed first.txt. Now that first.txt is gone because it is committed, and only the sample table where I made the changes, but I still want to work on it. I do not want to push it. Okay, so here I have the sample table.xlsx, which is still there. Now if you check the git log again, okay, so now you can see that there are two commits. This is the first commit, okay, with this commit ID, which is committed on 28 o'clock, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. This is 20 hours, 8 minutes. After 6 minutes, I have committed, and this is the comment that I have given. Okay, that is added real feature in the Facebook. So two versions are created. First is with the initial versions that we have committed over here. Then the second time I updated my first.txt and I committed it. So in this version, we have a updated first.txt. Okay. And the remaining things are same. Okay. So that's how we are keeping track of the files into the Git. And that's how we are moving our file from working directory to stage and to stage to commit. Okay. Whew. So yeah, this was the today's agenda. I really hope that you guys must have understood these things. Okay, I will share this particular command file with you guys. If you want, you can take a snapshot of it. Okay, and I will share it with your program manager, and uh, he will share it with you. Okay, so you must remember that git status, and this is something that if I'm going to wake you up at 2 a.m. in the morning and I will ask you, hey, how you will check the status? Okay, you must know this git status. Okay, then git init to create the folder as a git repo. Then this is for adding your files to the staging. Then this is from staging to the git repo. This will for the log, and this is something which was adding of one single file. Okay, so this is how the 3-level architecture of the git, and this is how we can add our files over there. Okay, so that's it from the today's class. Anyone have any doubts or questions? Where we will get the recording of the lecture? It is on YouTube. Why we should use? Sir, repeat it again. What we are using? Git log. You got it now, Kiran, Thalam? Why we were using the git log? I missed the chat. Okay, great. Recording you guys will get on the portal, okay, or on the WhatsApp group. I will ask the program manager to share it with you guys. Okay. Take a snapshot of it, screenshot, snapshot, whatever you call it. Okay, and create it. Try to play with it. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to learn something new. Tomorrow we are going to create a GitHub, and we will see how we can move our local Git repo to the GitHub. All these things we will learn. Okay. Yeah, man. Okay, what is the process for certification? What is just learn, man. Just join the class for the 5 days, learn about it. I will give you the project, hands-on project at the end of the session. Complete that particular project. Then I will evaluate your project. If your project was good, then I will approve it. Approve your certification, and you guys will get the certificate. Okay. And one more thing. Let me be very honest. Right now, you guys are in the in the graduation. Most of you, I think almost all of you. Okay, trust me. Certificates does not have a value. Knowledge does. Okay, if you are have a one certificate, a PDF, or in a paper form, or you have written in your resume, okay, that is not going to add any value until and unless you don't know about it. Okay, you have mentioned, okay, I have a Git certification. Okay, but when I ask you the question, hey, can you explain me the 3-stage architecture of the Git? And you are like blank. Okay, that does not have any value. Okay, so don't go for like when I will get certificate, how I will get certificate. No, man, just chase the knowledge. Okay, when I was in college, when I finished my college, I had 148, yeah, to be precise, 148 technical certificate. And trust me, none of the interviewers saw any one of them. Okay, they are only interested what I know. Okay, those certificate, a paper does not have a value. The main value, yeah, ideally you should have to post it on LinkedIn to get a better visibility. Okay, but knowledge is important. Okay. Okay, so that's it from my side today. Just give me the quick feedback of today's session. Anything? Good thing, bad thing, whatever you guys feel. Okay, and then you guys can left. It was great. Thank you. Hey, how's the understanding here? The classes are interactive. That's the most important thing. Like you guys are not feeling bored now any of the time, or is it some time that okay, it's monotonous or something? Sometimes. Okay. I will try to add more examples because that's where people does not bore. Okay. Class was very interesting. Okay, thank you. Please try to share command from macOS. macOS have the similar commands, man. The git commands are similar. Ratiraj. Okay, there is no change into it in the Mac. Okay, nothing. Same commands. Nothing will change. Okay, guys. So that's it. Thank you so much. Sir, is there a difference in CMD and Bash? Yeah, there is a difference. CMD is for basically for the Windows, and the Bash is generally used for the scripting, and Git Bash is specifically for the Git. Okay, into the CMD you can run anything, but in the Git Bash you can only run related to the things which is related to the Bash, like Vim editor and then Linux editors. So those things you can do over there. So even it's very interesting. I never to upgrade my knowledge, sir. Thank you so much, Arvind. Okay, guys, let's meet tomorrow, and yeah, I will talk to the program manager again so that you guys will get a one single link and there will be no confusion. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night ahead. Good night. Bye bye. Kaushik Mandal, can you end the meeting? You are the host, man. I was dropped from meeting. Just end the meeting, okay? Kaushik. Otherwise, the recording will be on, and that will create a trouble.